I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio and all the other places that I'm at, the Late Night with Yaya Diamond and the Yaya Diamond TV show and all the places that I'm at. I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is going to be an amazing interview. We have an amazing author on the show. Okay. I've had him on, the billboards and everything. So he's been on Times Square. What? I'm so excited. And it's Mr. Westley Thomas. He is on the show. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. You know you're famous.
Thank you very much, Yaya.
You know you're famous. You've been on Times Square. Hey. I have your picture. As a matter of fact, I have your picture. And now I got to go get it. Now that's just me. I got to go get it. Hold on a second. I have got to go get your picture because I have your picture on my profile of you holding your book on Times Square. You know it. You know it. Here, let me show you. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got it. No, that's not it. Wait. Here it is. I knew I had it. Wait a minute. We got to share this. We have to share this. I have it right there. You are. There you are. What did that feel like to be in front of your billboard on Times Square?
It was just a spiritual life thing that I've been, hoping for over the many decades. Just to see all the people out there. They weren't really paying attention to me, but like I was out there, having pictures taken so that let other people know that the books, that the book is out.
Yes, I am so excited. I was so excited and so happy to see that you were able to get there and take that picture. That just shows evidence that, I'm moving forward. Hello. Hello. So
It's been
let's
a
go
long
back.
time.
Huh?
It's been a long time coming.
You
A
know
long
what?
time.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. And we all have to, struggle a little bit in the beginning to make it and make our dreams come true. We have to do it. It's an actionable thing. And talking about actionable, what drove you to write a book?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a Vietnam veteran Marine.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I went into service at age 18, right after high school. And almost a year and a half later, I was over in Southeast Asia, Vietnam.
Oh my gosh.
And as far as writing the book, it developed out of a college class project. We had to submit anonymous writings on what we wanted to
Wow.
share with the classmates, and then the teacher would have us give the papers out and give them out to other students, and they would have to try to figure out, well, who wrote what. And I couldn't think of what to write about. So I said, wait a minute, maybe I should write something based on a love triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And it started out with 3 characters.
Wow.
And the students, the paper got passed around. The students tried to guess who wrote it. They really couldn't.
Oh.
So Professor asked, well, all right, because he already knew I wrote it. So he said, well, who wrote this hard decision 3-page? So I raised my hand. And then he asked me, well, what prompted me to write it? I said, well, I served in the Vietnam War.
Mm.
And I just decided that I wanted to develop characters, showing what families and relationships go through.
Mm. That is, wow. That is amazing. You've done so well with this book. You've got a Paris Book Festival award. You've got literary awards. I mean, tell me, what was that like to actually feel that and to be there and to experience those awards and to experience the book itself bringing you into your reality, I guess.
Well, I get emotional because dealing with this, the things that I've experienced over in Southeast Asia, because I arrived there on October 24th, 1966. I was 2 months in country.
Mm.
Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1966, we got called out on a search and rescue operation. I didn't even know what that was. A plane had crashed in a populated village in the Hobang, Quang Nang Province, and us Marines were told to go back and get our gear and get on the trucks. We didn't know what we were going for. And it was raining. We got on the trucks and we got out to the area. They said, we need you to see if there's any survivors from the plane crash. The plane crashed in the village.
Mm.
And all throughout the night, we're up there searching to see if we can find any survivors. Yeah, we saw smoldering bodies fused together, charred remains. It didn't bother me at that time because I was doing a job assignment, but it hit home many decades later.
Mm.
And then we had a formation, and this is April 1967. I get called up to the front. The whole platoon was, the formation. I got called up to the front. Uh, Corporal Thomas, front and center. So I went up front and I handed this letter. I didn't know what I was getting a letter for. It was a letter of appreciation.
Mm. Well, every time someone talks about Vietnam, I think about, and not to get like emotional too, but I probably will. Um, my grandfather, he passed away in 72
God bless him.
on his tour. He was his second tour, and he came back home, and then he left again, and that was it. And I was born a few months after he passed,
Wow.
same year. Yeah, same year. And so I never got to meet him, but heroic gestures of going back and fighting, and he gave his life for it.
Yes.
It's wow. And thank you for your service, but most of all, I do pray that you have gotten better. But has this book helped you to get better?
Writing this book was actually, I didn't even know it. Writing this book was actually therapy for me
Mm.
when I was writing it because I created all the characters based on what I was feeling
Mm.
and knowing that I was in situations over in Southeast Asia that this could have been me. And
Wow.
people that read the book and they look at the cover and say, "Oh, is that your wife?" I said, "No, that's just a, a actress." You know,
Mm. Wow. Well, there is a trailer here. I would love to play it. Is that okay?
yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and let's watch this trailer.
A Hard Decision by Westley Thomas.
Wow. To me, that's just like leaving your girl, leaving your family, leaving the people you love to serve a nation. When you came back from Vietnam, I was not a part of this. I don't know for a fact, but I heard that the greeting wasn't so pleasant. What was that like for you?
It wasn't pleasant because people that didn't have family members that were serving, their outlook on the veterans that were serving was totally different. Because my wife and myself, we went on a road trip a number of years ago out to Meteor Crater out in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
To get tickets to go visualize the crater because the crater had hit the earth and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up to the ticket window, and you know what the lady said to me behind the counter?
What?
"Oh, you're a Vietnam veteran. How many babies did you kill? Or how
Oh.
many did you, like my heart dropped to my feet. My wife came over and told her, "You have some nerve speaking to my husband like that and asking him those derogatory questions. You should be ashamed of yourself."
Mm.
And it hurts. It hurts because I know why it hurts because knowing all the veterans that serve, they talk about Agent Orange,
Right.
Monsanto and DuPont. They
Mm-hmm.
created these chemicals. It's supposed to be a defoliant to kill vegetation. But it's besides killing vegetation, it's also killing the Vietnamese nationals and the Americans and any other allies that served over in Southeast Asia
Mm, mm, mm.
because it manifests within your body system,
Oh,
lays lays dormant for X amount of years, and then it manifests itself when it comes to light: high blood pressure, heart disease, prostate cancer, neuropathy. There's a whole gamut of different things that affect veterans that serve. Not only does it affect the veterans, it also affects their offspring from generation upon generation. All
yeah.
of this documented. You can find this stuff on YouTube, Wikipedia, the whole gamut, because I, in turn, volunteer my time. I'm not a VSO. I'm not a veterans advocate. I'm not a DAV. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a veteran. Sharing information and providing information to other veterans and hope that they take advantage of their entitlement, which goes back to 1865, President Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural address.
Yeah. Keep talking. You're good.
Second inaugural address: for those who born the bread of war, we are to take care of their widows and their orphans.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, in those decades prior, it was basically the men and the wives at home and the spouses were the widows who had children and became orphans. Now it's the other way around because women are also serving. So the male could be the widows with orphans.
Yeah. My gosh. This is, and the book. How does the book parallel, or does it even parallel with your life or real life in that fact?
Some of it's me, going to childhood, growing up and stuff like that, going to the movies, girlfriends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the characters,
Right.
husband, husband and wife get married. Husband goes off to war. The wife is expecting a baby.
Mm.
He's overseas.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
He's overseas. He's writing her every now and then. Then she don't hear from him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then she receives word that he's either missing in action or he's killed in action.
Yeah.
So her life is in turmoil.
Wow.
Until years later, to her girlfriend, she remarries. And
Mm-hmm.
then after she remarried, her whole outlook in life changed because now she's faced with a hard decision.
Mm.
And in order to find out what really took place, my suggestion is read a copy of the book. It
Yeah.
will it will draw you in. And if you're reading it with somebody else, put yourself make yourself become one of those characters. Actually speaking the words, you'll feel it even more. Because every time I read it, I get emotional. Not only that, I will also be having a hard decision audiobook coming out soon.
Nice.
And when I was reading the book and listening to the audio, like it just really did something to me. So I can imagine it's going to be very powerful, very influential. It's going to
Mm.
touch a lot of lives because when a veteran serves, not only does the veteran serve, the family serves. And not only does the family serves, the community serves, and the community makes up the nation. So with all of those in mind, those that are serving the 1%, putting
Mm.
their lives on the line for the country, providing the freedoms that so many enjoy. And a lot of times you don't even get Thank you for your service or you're welcome home. None of this took place. Welcome home and thank you for your service until 9/11
Mm.
when they had the Gulf War. Because before the Gulf War, the Vietnam vets was, they were just forgotten about. That was
Yeah.
like kicked to the curb. You had Agent Orange, you had Brown Water Navy, and you had Blue Water Navy. Brown Water Navy, they were recognized for being exposed to herbicide dioxin exposure, Agent Orange. Blue Water Navy, because they were on naval ships, they weren't recognized until many decades later. But can you imagine how many veterans and veteran people and veterans families have passed on and has not been able to collect not one thin dime
Mm.
from the government for VA compensation? I can't sleep at night thinking about the veterans that I want to share information with and hope they get off the fence. It hurts me to my heart. And it hurts me to my heart when I try to talk to a vet. So, oh, I don't need it. The other guy needs it more than me. It doesn't work like that. When you go enlist in the military, you raise your right hand, you take the oath of enlistment to defend the Constitution. And from that point, you develop your own docket number. That means you have your own file cabinet, your own information, your own service number. It has nothing to do with the other veteran. So why not go after your VA compensation claim
Mm-hmm.
that you're entitled to, that you, when you wouldn't listen, you didn't have these conditions, but now you have them and it's detrimental to your well-being and your quality of life. Not only just your quality of life, but it also your family and can benefit from it. Because
Yeah.
my daughter, because I didn't know what I know now, she could have got a free high school education. I mean,
Mm.
not a college education, but I didn't know about this until many years later. Now I'm going to share something with you. You probably heard it before. When I came back from Vietnam, I had a lot of psychological baggage up here.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I didn't want anybody to think that.
Wow. You don't want no one to think that something was wrong with you.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to think something was wrong with me, that I was crazy or not, something like that. Crazy Vietnam vet, whatever. I didn't want anybody to think like that. It got to the point where it just built up inside of me. September 29th, 1988. I was 42 years old. I attempted suicide. I stabbed myself in the abdominal area with a butcher knife,
Mm.
waiting to die. And when I went to Elmhurst General, they put you in the ambulance and they drive you there. And as they're taking me off the gurney, out of the ambulance onto the gurney to roll me into the past the waiting area, I can hear voices. Boy, did you see that? That guy's got a butcher knife sticking out of his stomach. And when I got in there, in triage, they asked me, what happened? Who did this? You know, I said, I did. They said, well, why? I said, the devil made me do it. But it wasn't the devil. It's just that I had a lot of stuff on my mind that I didn't address or seek any type of mental health to go after it because I didn't think I needed it.
Mm.
So for those of you that are out there listening to what I'm saying, you need to go get help because your walls eventually are going to close in on you. And I thank God that I am still here to be a vessel and a spokesperson to let them know that I walk the walk, talk the talk, crawl the crawl, been in the trenches, and I know what it's like. It hurts me to my heart to know that some of my veteran friends passed on from sicknesses, suicide, all kinds of other things.
Wow. 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 That's crazy. I think in retrospect, they don't believe that they are maybe good enough, or they figure they some. Well, I've met a couple that said they should have died, in Vietnam, but they're still here, and they're wondering why when they
Hmm.
saw their friends die next to them. It's got to be a hard thing. It is definitely, just like your book says, it is a hard decision, not all around hard decision for the people who went and for those who were remaining behind that lost someone. I lost a really good friend in Desert Storm. I remember coming out of high school. He said he was going to enlist, and they sent him over to Desert Storm, and he never came home.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's hard, you know, really hard. And I'm grateful for you and for the book.
Thank you.
So, you know, if you had any advice for your fellow veterans and for people who maybe don't know that there is help for their uncle, their loved one, their auntie, what do you tell them?
They should seek help. And for those that have veteran families, veterans that served in families, if you don't know how to find out the veteran's history, you can send for their records. NPO, National Personnel Records Archive Center, St. Louis, Missouri, and request copies of their OMPF, Official Military Personnel File, and they will send you that information. Just got to send a copy of a death certificate
Wow.
and file a VA compensation claim if your service connects for any type of SID, sickness, injury, or disease. Because when you enlist in the military, you're on duty, on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, a year. And Southeast Asia, they used to call it combat pay. Yeah, combat pay, because you could be expendable at any given time or moment. But now I hear it's hazardous duty pay. But when I was in Southeast Asia in Vietnam, we didn't know it as well. I didn't know it as hazardous duty pay. I knew it as combat pay because you
Hmm.
got a few extra dollars.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so very much for being on the show. This has been eye opening for me, truly something that has touched me. And also, the book is available on Amazon. I'm going to put the link in the description box below. And thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. And I hear that you were born in the Bronx.
Yes.
So
Were you born?
I lived in the Bronx.
Okay. Yeah, I was born in the Bronx because Harlem Hospital didn't have any room for me at the time I was being born.
Oh,
And then I,
wow.
and then I moved to Staten Island. I was raised in Staten Island.
Mm-mm. I love the ferry.
Oh yes.
I love the ferry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And, if it's not asked too much, though, can you also link them to my website?
definitely. We put all that information in the description box. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Without
if
a
there's
doubt.
and if there's anything else that you need to know about veterans issues, feel free to contact me. I
There
can
you
provide you with a wealth of information
go. And that's
and
it.
and how you can be able to find some of those loved ones that you knew that passed in the war.
Mm. There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And to all those who served, I love you and thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Love you too.